Welcome everyone, this is your host Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. First of all, this channel is proudly sponsored by D3 Studios, the publishers and developers of Dames of Asstoria, a tabletop role-playing game where you play as monster girls, experiencing high adventure in a world that doesn't fully accept them. They have recently released Daughters of Lamb. This is a pay what you want tabletop RPG, where you get to play as cybernetic nuns with guns, looking for the missing pieces of their AI god. You will find it in their website. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment. This channel is also proudly sponsored by the Red Room Publishing. Please check out their store for exclusive tabletop RPG products and check out their micro red category of games. They are ready to play tabletop RPGs with their settings and a streamlined version of the red system. Definitely check it out. You will find it in their website. The link will be in the description and in the pinned comment as well. Today, I am continuing the review series featuring See You in Hell. If you haven't seen the other parts of my review series featuring this brutal first-person shooter inspired tabletop RPG, please check out the playlist in the description below. This time we are going to talk about three things in general. We are going to talk about, a moment please, character concept, approaches, and I would say the core mechanic, because the section is called Go For It, but the core mechanic, okay. So when it comes to character concept, this is your essence, who your character is. Once per game, you can use the character concept to reroll any dice. Then you have the memorable item as part of this character concept. This is an object meaningful to your character's past. Once per game, a memorable item can be used to add a die to your roll. The player needs to describe how the item relates to the current situation, of course. Now, you also have approaches. This is probably the most important aspect to your character, because instead of representing your character's capabilities, numerically speaking, the approaches is a way of handling these tags. They look a bit like tags to express the character's capacity or ability to accomplish something. When you choose an approach, there is always an extreme point, like a counterbalance to that approach. For example, you have bloodthirsty or cold-blooded. So if you want to be cold-blooded, your opposite approach is bloodthirsty, and vice versa. If you have bloodthirsty, the opposite is cold-blooded. There is also tough or swift, and confident or provident. And how do they work? So like I said, here you don't have like many stats or characteristics with numerical values. Here you have these approaches, and when a situation has to do with your approach, for example, if you go rip and tear, if you're going to go medieval on the enemy's ass, you're going to go savage, then the approach of bloodthirsty would certainly apply. And you will get to roll 2 dice when you use it. But when you use the opposite approach, for example, maybe your approach is bloodthirsty, but for a moment you need to hide. You need to sneak around. That's pretty cold-blooded, right? You need to be calm, not get nervous about being caught, the enemy finding out where you are. Then cold-blooded is the appropriate approach. But because you are bloodthirsty, you would only roll 1 die to that approach. But what if your approach is cold-blooded and you need to remain calm, hidden? Then you would roll 2 dice. But if it's bloodthirsty situation, you will only roll 1. So this is a very simple and appropriate dual way of handling things. Now, I can't find it right now. Oh yes, here it is. Here it is. Yes, I was just getting to that. Now, when it comes to the car mechanic, when you need to do something, just describe it, and the game master will call for a roll. Perhaps, maybe it's an automatic success or failure, right? Now, here is where I find it clumsy. The rules are clumsy. The design process, I would say, fails a bit here. It says, determine the suitable approach together with the game master, basing on what you do and how. If you're good at something, if you are good at something, you roll 2 dice. Otherwise, it's just 1. Add another die if there is a tool, an element, a factor that could assist you. So here it is. You're having this very cool session with roleplay. You are immersed, and suddenly, what do you think is the best approach? Is that bloodthirsty, or is it cold-blooded? I don't know. Maybe it's bloodthirsty. No. Let's do. So lame. I would recommend that in most cases the game master gives priority to the player. That is, the player decides what approach to employ. But if there is a situation that the game master deems very specific to a particular approach, then the game master just mentions that approach. The approach is bloodthirsty, and that's it. Final. Now, after you describe your action and the approach is determined, you roll all the dice and look for 5, 6, and 1. For every 5 and 6, it's a success. You've got what you wanted. For each success, you choose from a list of results. Maybe you have succeeded if it is not connected with cutting heads off. Or maybe you killed another enemy. You were shooting at an enemy, but an enemy got in the way and you managed to kill that enemy with your spray of bullets. Or maybe you found a useful element. Maybe like a hidden staircase, a passageway, whatever. But here, discuss with the game master which one. Fuck. Imagine if every time you play the first person shooter, you suddenly, the game pauses, it stops you from playing, and you start to have a conversation with the computer, with the AI. And the AI is kind of like, it looks like you're going to find a secret passage. Do you want to find a secret passage? And you will be like, no, I want a trapdoor. A trapdoor, not a secret passage on the wall. I want a trapdoor just in front of my feet. And the computer, the AI, no, I can't do that. How about we make it so that you find a ladder that comes from the roof? And the player, no, you know what? Maybe I find the key for like. Don't do it. Now, if there aren't any 5 or 6, the game master decides. It could be a failure or a success with one option from a list. Like, you accomplish something, but you take a wound. Or the character accomplishes something and loses an element. You lose a weapon. You waste valuable time, etc. and so forth. Now, if there is one or more ones, if you roll one or more, firstly, the player makes choices for each 5 and 6, and then the game master makes choices for each one. Okay, like I said, this is a good way of handling it, but definitely do not stop and wait for to discuss, right? Like, oh, what do you think? How do you think it applies? What do you think is the right approach? What are the results of this outcome? Like, but I find the system a bit well. It is clear that if you roll 5 or 6, those are successes, right? And if there aren't any 5 or 6, the game master decides could be a failure or a success with one option from the list that I told you. But if there is a 1, I get it. I get it right now. I was just like shuffling about the possibilities, but basically the 1 allows you to allows the player to continue with the successes from the 5 and 6, but there is that wrinkle from the 1. So this game is quite gritty because the game master, unless 5 or 6s are rolled, the game master has a way to screw you up a bit. And if you have a 1, the game master definitely has a way to screw up your results despite being successful. But that happens. You have played Doom, Quake, Heretic, Blood. It always happens like that. There are some how you say brutal situations as expected from this game. And this concludes this part of the review series. In the next part we are going to talk about rage, wounds and elements. So yes, the system is very simple. The only thing, like, I would even say that the rules are really good. Like, this is efficient, effective, simple to understand. You can apply the approaches to pretty much any situation. However, don't stop the roleplay. Keep on roleplaying. The game is not going to interrupt your gameplay experience. That is, if you were to be playing a video game like Doom, Quake, Wolfenstein, unless you pause the game. And when you pause the game, when you pause, you stop playing. You are not taking action. But here they're forcing you to pause while taking your action. Like, this is so clumsy. You stop playing a role, you suddenly start to have a conversation about the game. You're neither playing a game in the spirit of Doom, Quake, and you're not playing a role either. So don't do it. Ignore these instructions of discuss with the game master, etc. Thank you for watching this part of the review series. Don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe. And thank you so much to those of you that are going the extra mile to support the channel. If anyone else wishes to further support the channel, consider joining as a member using the super thanks button. Take a look at the information in the description and in the pinned comment. This has been your host, Abraham L. Jaguar, a professional game master. And remember, master roleplay and you will master the game. Once again, thank you and see you later.